Hi everybody, long time no see. Some people sent me email and asked me to paint some other gun, and so I did. This time I painted Nerf Recon 6 into a camouflage again. This came out pretty cool too. Okay, so in order to paint like that, you need two things. One is of course paints, another one is a stand. Let me show you the stand first. So this is a stand I made. The bottom part is just a plain 2x4, and I just drilled a hole into the 2x4 stud, and I stuck this steel pipe to it. It doesn't have to be a steel pipe, so long as it's long enough that sticks out, that's good enough. That's what you're gonna need. Then another thing you need is of course paints. This time I used this paint from Krylon or Crayon or whatever you call, and it says super flat here, as you can tell, right? And this paint is really just made for camouflage paint, and it's super flat and dries very fast. It only about takes 15 minutes to dry out, and it stinks less. I highly recommend this paint over Tamiya paint that I used previously. They stick pretty well too. Here's another color I used from the same vendor. Okay, the next thing you need to do is of course to paint. And so you get that stand that you made and then put whatever you want to paint to it, and you take a spray gun, right, and you paint. Always take about 1 foot of a distance from what you're painting to the spray, and don't give angles. Just keep it far enough and keep it steady and just slowly paint it. And also another tip is don't try to paint everything at once. Often what happens is you paint and you're gonna find some spot that you missed. You want to paint, so you add more, and you end up putting way too much paint, and then paint is still so wet that they sag, and that just won't work. So you paint, even if you find some spot that doesn't have any paint on it, forget it, let it dry, 15 minutes, half an hour later, come back and then paint again. And you can do 2-3 coats, that's fine. And then you do one side, right, all the way from top to bottom, and you flip it aside, and then you paint again, and you get the very good coverage right that way. So another tip, this middle part, there's a black end to this. I painted it, but don't, because I painted this, there's extra cord here, right? And then when I just assembled the gun, I couldn't take the shoulder piece off because it's got stuck, and I had to finally somehow manage to get it off and sand off the paint a little bit so it goes in and out smoothly. It's just not worth it. So you can mask this part, or you can take this black piece out and paint and put it back afterwards, whichever you choose to do, and do that. And then when you do this, you let it out and spray this part, right? And then make sure you paint this part as well. You slide back, and then you paint over here again, so there won't be any yellow part left at the end of the day. Okay, so once you're done painting all the pieces, you put all the pieces together, and then you put that down. And then what I did is I just picked out some grasses from my backyard and put down right on the gun. And I took the spray and I painted directly above. What you don't want to do is give it an angle. What happens is if you give an angle, let's say this is the object you're trying to paint, let's say this, right? This is the surface you're trying to paint, you give it an angle, you spray, and whatever you had put on this to cover will be blown away. I made that mistake too, where I put grasses and leaves there. I first gave it an angle, and some of them went away. So I had to redo it, set it again, and keep the angle, right angle, all the time, and just spray quickly, and your gun is gonna look good. Okay, so once you're done painting, of course it's time to shoot. So you put the bullets in the gun. Right, you load. And here you go. Let's see if I can find my son as usual and shoot him. Okay, I lose. His other brother also helped. That was no match for me. See you.